I think the elephant in the room is always Evan Mobley. Like it feels like every year we're waiting for this guy to take the jump. And how much better would this team be if Evan Mobley wasn't 18 and 8, but he was like 25 and 12? I think that's the big piece that we're missing here because Evan Mobley came in, and Penn, you could probably remember, but like Evan Mobley came in with like KG comparisons ceiling wise, and it's like, and it feels like he's far away. He's still young, but like he feels like the swing piece that we're waiting for still, and I think it
I really
can
like
change
Evan
everything.
Mobley
But how
in the
long do we
draft.
wait though?
That's what he was.
I really liked Evan Mobley in the draft. I heard a lot of stories about the time that's been going in to develop his handle and guard skills at USC with him and his brother over in LA and shit. And it's just like, wow, like if this actually hits, if this materializes, he's so fluid. But something that I just kind of couldn't get my head around at USC was he felt a little bit like he was avoiding contact, right? KG was not like that. Even when KG was like a little bit younger, there wasn't an aversion to contact. Some people felt like KG should play more closer to the basket, get in the block a little bit more. But KG was tough, like really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was tough at 19, 20. He was tough. So I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. Like I've gone kind of from he could be Chris Bosh meets Kevin Garnett to he could be like a really good championship number 2. And the way he's playing this year, I'm more like he might be a championship number 3.
But to be fair, Penn, and not more pushback to you, but maybe just for Evan Mobley's development, I do think he gets blamed for a lot of the stuff with Cleveland. When you watch these games, it's not really Evan that's like the problem. I think he's only in year 5. Like year 5 to Penn's point when you talk about like
this is year 4 that we in. Year 4.
No, this is year 5.
Yeah,
it's 5.
Is this year 5? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and this is year and by the way, this is year 7 for Darius Garland.
Yeah. I think the thing with Mobley is, Penn, you talked about before, when you become a legendary player, year 5 is kind of like the season. Like Jokic won his first MVP, I think,
right
around that time. SGA then turned into an All-NBA first-team player, like around that point. I don't know if Evan gets there, but I also will say, bro, like Evan is just also like he's really good. He just the team around him isn't good enough for him to. They need him to be like an MVP level big. But I don't think that's fair to Evan because Evan is like an all-NBA player. I'm a DPOY. I'm 19 and 9 this year. He's only shooting 49% from the field. So, like, maybe that's some of that will be worked out and developed over time. But, you don't get in your prime until you're 27, 28, 29 years old. So, do you think there's a world where you get to year 7 Evan Mobley and all of a sudden he's like a different tier of player?
Maybe that is it. But I think that the space that we're in right now with him, we're asking for something from a young player that we would be asking for somebody in their prime because of the unit that he's on and because of the development of this unit. I don't think that we would be asking this of Mobley if he was in. So Penn, if he was in Charlotte, if he was in Charlotte's a bad example because I don't want to talk about a team that bad. But if he was on a fringe playoff team, I don't think that we would be. Something like that. Like if he was in Memphis or something. Somewhere like that,
Cavs,
right?
Cavs, I guess. Well, yeah, to your point, Mars.
Well, this current Cavs, would we be asking for him to be this all-world player if he was on a fringe playoff team, as opposed to the team that he's on now, which has championship aspirations?
Sure. Where were we with Kevin Garnett? And I don't want to overstress the Kevin Garnett comparisons because I think it's disrespectful to KG. But 1999, 2000, where were we with KG?
He's one of the 5 best players on the planet, but
yeah, he finished second in MVP voting, right? Mm-hmm. He was 23 years old. So,
yes,
he was.
But
23.
That's
let some people tell it was never a conversation between him and Duncan. But.
Right. I don't think it's disrespectful to KG because Evan Mobley's skill set was that good at USC. He came into the league with a very good skill set, and I think it was more so about the build, the way he looked on the court. So I don't think it's meant to disrespect KG. But with that being said, we're going to have to stop comparing him to KG because he doesn't play with that type of tenacity and that type of viciousness. He just doesn't play like that.
What if he has on
the KG is? He's not as tough as KG. He's the glass cleaner that KG is.
He's not the athlete KG was.
He's not Kevin Garnett.
He's not. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I think Evan Mobley might need to gain 20 pounds.
He's kind of big.
He's kind of big now.
Bigger. He's gotten
put
a
weight
lot.
Of course, yeah, he's gotten bigger since he was
definitely
20 years old or 19 years old or however old he was when he was at USC, whatever. I don't know. But I mean, that's a natural. I just think he might want to fill out a little more. I don't know. He can't assert himself the way that I expected him to by now. If you remember, Chill, when he first came in, I was saying that in 7 years we're going to be talking about him amongst the great power forwards. I was saying that about Evan Mobley,
Jalen Duren. What the hell? I'm in the Matrix.
Right,
Meanwhile,
right, and this is what I was saying about Evan Mobley, and I just don't think he's asserted himself that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't think his presence isn't felt in that way,
which is kind of crazy because he won the Defensive Player of the Year, which is wild as hell because he's a second team All Pro, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
not like
those are things that are voted on, though. You know
yeah, but like, we also didn't think he was the best defender in the sport last year for the most part either.
I did.
I know, but remember, Victor Wembanyama went down, and then Chet Holmgren didn't qualify. Like,
Chill don't care. He still thinks Evan Mobley was better. So
I didn't think Victor Wembanyama was the best defensive player.
I do think the All NBA second team was relatively valid. I think Evan Mobley was that good in the regular season last year.
I was good.
That was
He's a good defender. Really good defender.
He would have been All NBA
last
year.
Yeah. But you make a good point in terms of if we're waiting for Evan Mobley to get to year 7, year 8, year 9, do you think that he's still lining up with Donovan Mitchell's timeline then? Like Donovan Mitchell's 29, but Donovan Mitchell feels like he's playing his best basketball right now. Like, is that going to be an issue too? Like, do you think that'll align?
That's 5 more years. That's what I'm saying. We don't got that kind of time. No. Because Donovan Mitchell is not going 5 years from now. Donovan Mitchell, what is he? 20? Donovan Mitchell's 28. 5 more years from now, we gotta wait. Nah, I think that's way too long. No,
they don't really. I think the thing with the Cavs, Chill, is I know you like the Cavs, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell. That was your title pick, but I think when you actually look at the way they're built, they're not built to win a championship. They don't have the size on the interior. They don't. I mean, as good as your ball handlers are,
no.
I think if you look at, go ahead.
Like Thomas Bryant, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. How much size do you need?
Well, I was more so thinking, I think size, physicality, like more girth, if that makes sense. I think if you look at Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, J-Dub, I mean, they're not like, Chet's not big, but they're physical, like mad. They're super physical. And I think their guards are so big and physical. And I think when you play versus teams like OKC, Denver, the Rockets, which I think are the 3 best teams in the league, I think there's a level of like, just aggression you got to be able to play with on a night-to-night basis, because when you play versus Cleveland, Chill, it's just not the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all are tall, but you're tall. But Ox knows he's played against a lot of tall people that weren't the most like
tall doesn't mean physical.
You can move them off their spot, and they guards are small. Mitchell, really good player, quick twitch. Darius Garland, I love Darius, but Darius is slight. Like, he's slight in person. Like, he's a legit 6'1" and slight in person. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not the biggest dude. Lonzo, you don't think physicality with Lonzo, but also Lonzo, if he was in a situation with OKC, he'd probably be even better defender, obviously. But I just think they don't have the NBA has gone big, strong, aggressive, and then I think they're tall, quick, skilled to like the 99th percentile.
If they met Detroit would eat them alive in the playoff series.
Right, I agree.
Detroit would eat them alive too right now.
See, that's
I was
listening
to somebody say that they've been in the practice facility on NBA radio or whatever. They've been in the practice facility, been with them in the weight room, been with them at practice, all that type of stuff, and they're saying the strongest player on that team is Donovan Mitchell. They're saying like you can't. When you watch it, it makes sense. He looks like the most aggressive, strongest, burly guy over there, and he's like, your 2 guard can't be your strongest player.
Not when you got the defensive player. Not when you got a double rebounding machine in Jared Allen. Not when you have that. You should have tougher players than your starting 2 guard. I won't.
To be honest with you, Chill too. I think they also got a little bullied in that series versus the Pacers. Like Miles Turner and them, like they just moved them. Pascal
getting bullied by Miles Turner is crazy.
But Pascal's also physical too. I know Penn can probably testify to this as well. Like when he needs to, he can be physical for a wing himself. I just think that like Chill, there's something you need in the league now. Because Chill, when you watch these, like even when you watch the Nuggets and Rockets game, bro, like that was Amin, or even Josh Okogie and them, like it's we're bumping each other. You play OKC, even OKC Spurs, which I don't even think I was Was I here the next day to talk about that one? I wasn't here to talk about the Knicks game yesterday. I mean, even you watch the Knicks game, bro. Ox, you telling me right now that Miles Turner, or matter of fact, Mitchell Robinson, 3 straight offensive rebounds at the top of the fourth quarter that completely flipped the script of the game? Mm-hmm. And then they had 23 offensive rebounds in that game. For me, Penn, that's physicality. Like, that's want to. That's drive. And if you play versus the team with OG Anunoby on it, 6'7", strong. Mikal Bridges, I think a strong physical wing player. And then obviously Mitchell Robinson. And again, people call Cat soft. He's not soft. Cat will get in there and he'll body with you. And then you got Jalen Brunson.
From time to time, but he's not soft. No,
I think that soft thing a few years ago left for me.
He's not soft.
Yeah,
we've seen the Knicks ragdoll the Cavs before, and that was back with Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. Like we've seen the Cavs touch every wall in the building, due to the physicality of the Knicks. But I mean, they were younger, but we've seen it already.
Josh Hart getting,
but I'm also right. There's a baseline level of toughness and physicality you need. Yeah.
But with that being said, I've also seen the Cavs tough out wins. I mean, that Orlando series, that was a dogfight. And yes, Donovan Mitchell was the bucket getter, but it was very physical in that series. And Evan Mobley, he actually stood up to the challenge. Now, the question is the consistency of that physicality. Can you continue to do that? Evan Mobley was actually physical against that Boston Celtics team that won the NBA championship when both Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen both sat out. So I've seen the physicality from Evan Mobley. I've seen it. I just haven't seen it on a consistent basis. And I think a lot of that has to do with me wanting him to be something that he's not. And I've actually come around with this, Ox, because you guys talked about it earlier. Like when he first came into the league, Penn, I thought that I was seeing Chris Bosh step a better defender. That's what I thought that I was looking at, a stronger, better defender.
He is a better defender than him.
That's what I thought I was looking at.
Now, I'm not that high on Chris Bosh. I like Evan Mobley more than Chris Bosh.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought I was seeing a better version of that. Like I felt like he could be better in terms of his physicality, in terms of his defense. That's what I thought that I was seeing.
He is a better defender.
I was turning him into. I was trying to turn him into something that he's not, Moss. I'm trying to make him into Malone, Barkley, like that Garnett, that physical 4-man. That's what I'm trying to turn him into.
Malone and Barkley were physical specimens, though. Like
that's what I'm saying. But and I'm not. That's not him. I think he's more of a face-up big. I think he's more of a pick and pop big who can stick his nose in there and rebound and get with the dirty work from time to time. But he ain't Garnett. He's not Malone. He's not Barkley. Like he's not that rough. He's not that.
He's not Giannis. He's not Julius Randle.
Chris Bosh is better than Evan Mobley.
I'm not even getting into that.
It's not directed to you, Pin, because I don't want to turn this into nothing it doesn't have to be. Don't just let him get that off and y'all walk past that. Y'all know Chris Bosh is better than Evan Mobley.
I think Chris Bosh is better than Evan Mobley right now.
Y'all know that.
Whoa. I think
right now, like 40-year-old Chris Bosh. Okay.
No, I'm talking about Chris Bosh when he was where Evan Mobley is. Like Chris Bosh in year 5. So in 2008, Chris Bosh is better than Evan Mobley. Yes, he is 100%.
Yes,
and I felt like he 100% is better than Evan Mobley. And I felt like Evan Mobley could be that good, except a better defender.
Chris Bosh.
That's how I felt like him in terms of that style of play.
With the Raptors, that's what I thought he became a good defender with the Heat.
I didn't say he was better than him.
Yeah, so Evan Mobley year 5, Chris Bosh year 5, defense not close at all. I watched Chris Bosh get bodied by everybody. Okay. There was that one year where he was auditioning for Miami, where he put on a whole bunch of weight and he looked totally different. He put up some big stats, man. Come on. I watched every game this dude played. I refuse to let y'all to borrow a term from Jordan. I refuse to let y'all psyop the whole world and think Chris Bosh was 2 players. He was either the role player who played defense and stretched the floor, or he was a very inefficient isolation scorer who did not play a lot of defense.
You know who Evan Mobley needs a little bit of?
He does one thing that pisses you off, and you can never see past that. So now you hate him. Chris Bosh is absolutely better than Chris Bosh.
Do you know what Evan? You know who Evan Mobley needs a little bit more of, Chill? And I mean this. He needs some Kenyon Martin in him.
He'll never.
You can't just wake up. If he has some of that chill, some of that like raw, like you know what I mean. That would.
Well, Damien, the question is
irrational confidence.
No,
I mean it was completely rational in 2004.
You know what it is? It is a nastiness streak. That is what you need.
That's right.
Look, I Chill in your entire history of watching basketball.
Because
Nah,
Gasol had that. Bryant brought it out of him. Like you can't put
Gasol
that
was
in-
like that already.
First of all,
No, he
Gasol was
wasn't
like that
that-
already. He
He
was
was like that
what I'm
overseas.
And that's what I'm saying. And Bryant brought it out of him. Is Mobley like that?
There ain't no bringing it out of him. No. I don't want to. I don't want revisionist history on that.
So when you-
Gasol
so when
was
you
like
bring-
that
when
with
you bring
Spain,
Kenyon
and
Martin
it was like
in-
that with Memphis already. When he got to LA, then because remember what KG
People
said
saw
about
it
him.
more.
Yeah,
People-
he was
people
working KG, but he'd always been working them bigs back in the day. Always.
My point by saying that, Swiper, is he had that in him. Bryant brought it out of him.
It was
You wanna
already
bring
there though.
Kenyon-
That's too
But
much credit
chill,
for
you
Bryant.
can't bring
wanna
out something
Kenyon
in me
Martin
when I've been
in.
doing
You
it my
wanna
whole
bring
life.
Charles Oakley in. Does Mobley have that in him to bring it out of him? Because you can't put the dog in somebody. You can bring it out of them. They already have it in them, or they don't have it in them.
Sure, either
Which
you
one
have
is
it, or something happens to you in life that puts it in you. And it's not a friend hyping you up. It's something that has to happen to you. Either it could be traumatic in life, something. I don't know. I don't want to give a bunch of examples of possibilities of why you could all of a sudden turn into that type of person. But either you have it or something happens to you that puts it in you. You can't just Evan Mobley's not just gonna all of a sudden wake up tomorrow and be
You need three things to happen
Kenyon
to you.
Martin.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the hoes go ham. You ain't never seen hoops all hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.